Barry Gibb gave the world some of the most iconic songs ever written. Stayin' Alive, How Deep Is Your Love, Night Fever. Melodies so deeply woven into our lives that hearing them still stops you cold. His group, the Bee Gees, sold over 220 million records. But behind every flawless harmony was a man carrying a grief most people never knew existed, because while Barry gave the world perfect sound, his own world kept going silent, one voice at a time. It didn't start with sold-out stadiums. It started with boiling water and a 2-year-old boy who almost didn't survive. Born in 1946, on the Isle of Man, into a family that rarely had enough money for basics, Barry grew up watching his father drum at seaside hotels for coins, and his mother quietly hold everything together. One day, the toddler pulled a tablecloth, sending a pot of scalding water crashing down on him. His mother plunged her own hands into the boiling water to tear the soaked clothing off his body. Doctors reportedly gave him 20 minutes to live. He spent 2.5 months in hospital, his chest and arms covered in burns. He survived, scarred but alive, and his family treated those scars as proof of love, not tragedy. Music became his escape from all of it. By 11, Barry was pulling his younger brothers Robin and Maurice together to sing in local halls, not chasing fame, just chasing a way out of poverty. When the family emigrated to Australia in 1958, the three brothers were singing between car races at a speedway, dirt in their eyes, petrol in the air, performing for an audience that gradually stopped what they were doing and simply listened. People tossed coins onto the track. It paid for dinner. That was enough. By 1967, they were selling out venues in London. By 1977, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack had sold over 40 million copies and redefined popular music entirely. But success came with a brutal backlash. A famous 1979 event in Chicago saw disco records literally blown up in a stadium, and overnight, radio stations stopped playing the Bee Gees. Barry adapted. He wrote massive hits for other artists and kept his head down, proving his talent outlasted the trends. Then came the losses, the ones no amount of success could prepare him for. His youngest brother Andy, whose music career Barry had helped build from the ground up, died in 1988 at just 30 years old, following a long struggle with substance abuse. Barry has spoken openly about the survivor's guilt that never left him. His father passed away 4 years later. Then in 2003, Maurice died suddenly after emergency surgery. No warning, no goodbye, leaving Barry frozen with a grief he described as something he simply couldn't process. Robin followed in 2012, after a long battle with cancer, Barry reportedly singing old songs quietly beside his hospital bed near the end. Then their mother Barbara, the woman who had once burned her own hands to save Barry's life, was also gone. When Barry later faced emergency surgery for an intestinal blockage, the same condition that had taken Maurice, he admitted his hands were shaking as he signed the consent forms. What kept him standing through all of it was his wife Linda, whom he married in 1970, and credits openly with saving his life by keeping the darkness of the industry outside their door. Today, in his 80s, surrounded by grandchildren and decades of memories, Barry describes music not as ambition anymore, but as remembrance, his way of keeping his brothers alive. If the Bee Gees ever soundtracked a moment that mattered to you, drop it in the comments. And if stories like this move you, a like and subscribe means more than you know.